Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into one of the most abrupt, genuinely shocking events in recent AI history. If you've tried logging into your Anthropic account lately, you've probably realized something huge is missing. In a massive piece of breaking news, Anthropic has completely banned all access to Claude Fable 5. This was the highly anticipated publicly released version of their ultra-powerful Mythos model, and it didn't just quietly fade away or get swapped out. It was pulled offline following a sudden, direct intervention by the United States government. So today, we're going to unpack exactly what happened, why the government felt the need to step in, and honestly, some of the wild theories floating around about the real reasons behind this shutdown. To really grasp the shockwaves this sent through the tech world, just think about this number: 76 hours and 20 minutes. That is the entire, incredibly short lifespan of Claude 5's public availability. It arrived, it completely revolutionized how people were building software for exactly 3 days. And then, in the absolute blink of an eye, it was gone. And this right here is exactly what users are running into. Hi, this model isn't available right now. And crucially, this isn't just some localized outage. Whether you're firing up the Claude desktop app, Claude Cowork, or Claude Code, you're hitting this exact same wall. While the government action was technically an export control directive aimed at foreign nationals, the net effect was so severe and immediate that Anthropic had to abruptly disable Fable 5 for all customers globally. That includes everyday users sitting right inside the US, just to guarantee they were in absolute legal compliance. So why did this actually happen? Well, the US government issued an export control directive, citing national security authorities. They essentially forced Anthropic to pull the plug right then and there. And the gravity of this action, it really cannot be overstated. Industry veterans like Aaron Levy are already pointing to this as a massive turning point for AI regulation. We're officially entering an era where the government is actively deeming certain commercial models just too powerful for public use, which sets a huge precedent for how frontier AI might be controlled moving forward.
Section 1. Unpacking the Mythos model. Let's look at the underlying technology that powered Fable 5.
To truly understand what we just lost, we have to look at the relationship between Mythos and Fable 5. Think of Mythos as the base model. It is an absolute powerhouse. We're talking a 5-star, unrestricted AI model that Anthropic had previously only teased and given early access to for select massive companies and government entities. Fable 5, on the other hand, was the public-facing version. You can kind of think of it as a 4-star model. Anthropic actively nerfed it, scaling back some of that raw power by manually imposing safeguards. So if a user tried to perform advanced frontier large language model research, Fable 5 was programmed to automatically reroute them or restrict the output. It was designed to be this safe, consumer-ready slice of the Mythos pie. But here's the crazy part. Even with all those manual safeguards, Fable 5 was utterly mind-blowing. The capabilities we saw in just those 76 hours were staggering. Developer Todd Sanders reported being on a 15-minute customer call where Claude Fable 5 was just listening in the background, live-coded the exact features the customer was asking for, and allowed him to present a fully working product before they even hung up. All their users were completely rebuilding mobile apps, like the Lovable app, using just a single prompt. People were generating perfect, playable Minecraft clones from scratch. It was designing humanoid robots. Developer Peter Yang was using it to code incredibly realistic racing games literally overnight. People were having more fun and being vastly more productive than with any other model ever released. So yeah, the AI community is actively mourning the loss of a tool that felt genuinely magical. Section 2. The jailbreak controversy. Let's look at exactly what triggered the government to pull the emergency brake. The timeline of this ban perfectly illustrates the sheer suddenness of the whole situation. At 0 hours, Fable 5 hits the public. Fast forward just 76 hours to 5:21 p.m. Eastern Time, and Anthropic's offices receive the government directive, seemingly out of nowhere. Just 20 minutes after that, at exactly 76 hours and 20 minutes, there is a complete global shutdown of the model. No warnings, no phase-outs, just an immediate hard stop. Now, to understand this properly, we really have to look neutrally at both sides of the conflict. On one hand, the US government states that an unnamed company successfully bypassed, or essentially jailbroke, Fable 5's manual safeguards. In the government's eyes, this meant the model's restrictions were totally removed, allowing it to do whatever the user wanted, which they deemed a direct, immediate national security risk. On the flip side, Anthropic was legally forced to comply, sure, but they strongly disagree with the government's reasoning. Anthropic's official stance is that this whole thing is a giant misunderstanding. They argue the government's directive completely lacks specific details, transparency, and grounded technical facts. They believe the statutory process for blocking AI deployments should be fair and clear, and they are arguing that this sudden action was absolutely neither. Section 3. The cost conspiracy. Because whenever there's a sudden event in the tech world, you know the theories start to fly. A lot of users and developers are speculating that this government ban might actually be a very, very convenient scapegoat for Anthropic. The theory goes like this. Anthropic always knew that running the massive Mythos architecture for the general public was completely financially unsustainable. The idea is that they released Fable 5 simply to build massive hype, demonstrate their total dominance in the market, and then fully intended to pull it back because they simply didn't have the computing resources to keep it running for everyone. And honestly, the math behind these models heavily backs this theory up. To use the unnerfed Mythos model through an API, developers were reporting some seriously staggering costs. One user noted it was costing them roughly $600 per hour to run Mythos. Seriously. Even for smaller projects, just submitting 9 to 10 prompts to clone a mobile app was costing developers $200 to $300 in a single sitting. This is a wildly heavy, unbelievably expensive model to operate. Let's contextualize that $600 an hour figure for a second. If a developer or a company were to run the Mythos model consistently for a standard 40-hour workweek, they'd be looking at an estimated expense of $1.2 million a year, and that is just on token costs alone. When you scale that kind of computational weight across millions of public cloud subscribers, well, you can start to see why the community wonders if Anthropic's server farms and their accountants were actually breathing a huge sigh of relief when that shutdown order came through. And there's a specific detail that adds some serious weight to this conspiracy theory. Even before the sudden government ban, users who clicked on Fable 5 within their paid Claude subscriptions, whether they were paying $20 or $200 a month, saw a notification explicitly stating that the model was only going to be available until June 22nd. So its days for the everyday consumer were quite literally numbered from the very start. Section 4. The future of AI access. Let's explore the broader implications of this shutdown and what it means for your daily workflows. Okay, first, a bit of reassurance. While Claude Fable 5 and the Enterprise Mythos 5 models are strictly banned right now, your standard AI toolkit is still largely intact. We still have full access to Claude Haiku, Sonnet, and Opus 4.8. But make no mistake, the psychological impact of this event is massive. People deep in the AI space are actively calling this the biggest industry shock since Sam Altman was briefly fired from OpenAI in late 2023. It's a very sobering reminder that access to top-tier, world-changing technology can vanish literally overnight. Now, for those of you who are still eager to push boundaries and build with AI, the community is rapidly adapting. In fact, there are some great practical workarounds if you want to integrate powerful AI agents directly into your daily life without even needing a physical computer. Platforms like Chorus.com are really stepping up to fill the void. It's incredibly simple. You go to their site, get a dedicated phone number with one click, and you can immediately start texting world-class AI models directly through your normal iMessage app. And the capabilities here are highly relevant to the kind of rapid building people love so much about Fable. With tools like Chorus, you can just text your agent and tell it to scrape full transcripts from YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. You can ask it to perform deep research, like, for example, asking it to summarize the latest YouTube videos by Theo Brown regarding Anthropic, and then actually have it auto-generate a public landing page with that exact research report in a matter of minutes. It really goes to show that while one door closes, developers are working overtime to ensure other windows remain wide open for everyday innovation. But I want to leave you with this final thought. The loss of Fable 5 isn't just about losing a really fun, powerful coding tool. It's about a shifting paradigm. What happens to our world if we, as everyday citizens, lose access to the absolute best frontier AI models? If the ultimate power of artificial intelligence gets locked away, and only governments and massive megacorporations hold the keys, what kind of future does that actually build for the rest of us? It's a profound question, and for sure one we are undoubtedly going to be grappling with in the months to come. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep exploring.